Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's live stream where we're going to be talking to you about how to find a print-on-demand design that sells over $250,000 worth, right? So over $250,000. As always, I am joined by none other than Thomas Gentleman. Hi, Thomas. How are you?
I'm good, Aidan. Hello, everybody. And yes, how do you find that crazy design, that one that's going to really hit it out of the park? Yeah. That's the topic. It is possible. We see it. We have the data. We've run the numbers. Our analysts, shout out to Max, our data analyst. We've run the numbers, and we see it. We see it. We don't see it every day, though, do we, Aidan?
We don't, unfortunately, but that's what this live stream is going to be all about, is to try and get more of you, finding more of these to make more of the money. And believe it or not, some of the people in the comments, some of them secretly might be those people. We shall see. But no, it's definitely doable. It's definitely been done, and it's still, people are still doing it to this day. It's just, hopefully we can share this with you so more of you can do it.
So what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the big idea? What's the difference between a design that sells a lot and a design that doesn't sell a lot? Do you know, Aidan? Do you know what the difference is? You'll be surprised by my answer.
I think I know the answer, but it's a very basic response. Is it one that just sells a lot more than the other? Maybe is there a bit more to it?
That is true. But do you know what the real answer is? If I showed you two designs now and I said, pick which one of these two designs sold more than the other, you wouldn't know. There's no difference in the designs. What this is about is volume.
Right.
It's a numbers game. If you want to find the huge design, the massive design, I don't know what it is. I can't predict what it's going to be. I can't tell you, well, what you need to do is it's a combination of this shade of blue, that shade of yellow, this font in this niche, released on this day to this audience at this budget with these ads. No, that's not the way it works at all. The market will decide. Have you ever heard the term the invisible hand of the market? Well, you have now.
I haven't, no.
So the invisible hand of the market is an idea that it's guided by some sort of invisible, mystical force, almost mystical force, an invisible hand. But really, it's just market forces. The more products, the more designs that you put out there, the more likely you are to find a winning design.
Yeah. Just sorry to derail you there, but I get that question a lot. Aidan, do you think this design is a good one? And my first answer to that question is, have you tested it yet? Because I'll be honest with you, I might have an opinion, but that's my singular opinion. But the only real way to know if something's good is testing it, right?
Yeah.
And see if that market is there.
Aidan can't buy all of the t-shirts. He does his best. At least half of his wages we force him to spend on t-shirts every month.
Or cushions.
Well, yeah, that's where your overtime money goes, in cushions, as where it should be, a great investment for the future. No, but it's a numbers game. The thing here is that you've got to be able to test. You've got to be able to test a lot of designs. You've got to put yourself into the mindset of you're going to be successful. Find a way that works for you. I'm going to tell you one way that can work, but there's multiple ways that can work. But it's definitely a numbers game. The more you test, the more likely you are to find a design that's going to be phenomenal. We see tens of thousands of people launching, or 10,000 people, however many thousands of people launching designs, trying to sell them. And out of those designs, some are super successful, some are not so successful. Again, it's not about the niche. It's not about the Facebook advertising. There are designs out there that no matter how many variations of that design or style of design you couldn't give away in the street.
Yeah.
That's a separate thing. So the basics are, normally you want to follow some basic rules. Obviously you want to have the rights to sell the design. It's not a scalable design if you don't own the rights. So anyone that's thinking, oh, well, I saw this thing and I'm going to take this and no. If you're doing research, you can look for ideas. Ideas are one thing, but you have to make them your own, and you have to make sure that you're following the rules, the law. So that's one thing. You've got to follow the rules. Text It's about the message on the shirt. Normally we do see some images. I'm not saying it's all about the text. It can be about the image. If it's a really good image that's on really speaks to the niche, it can do well. But I would say the majority, 98% of what we see do really well is text.
Yeah.
You want to keep the text big on the shirt so that it's readable. It's about the message. You don't want to have some tiny little message. You write something, oh, that's the perfect thing, and no one can read it, or use some hand-drawn calligraphy font that nobody can read, because then you've lost the message. So you want to keep it readable. You want to use high contrast where you can. So what's high contrast? If you've got a white shirt or a white product, you want to use darker text. If you've got a dark product, then you want to use lighter text. There are some colors that go well together. There's color wheels out there. So if you've got a main font color, you can find some nice complementary colors to go along with it that will make a nicer design than just sort of randomly picking colors. So there are some basic rules of design.
And I suppose you have to bear in mind where these people are most of the time buying it, right? It's on their phones. So it's got to be readable because it's going to be on a smaller screen.
Yes, it has to be readable because it's on a smaller screen. That's a good point. So people are scrolling quickly. So it's a numbers game. How many designs? What do you need to test? Well, it's as many as you can. So let's say that Mother's Day in the US is coming up. We always talk about it, but we've also got Nurses Day coming up. Day coming up. I believe it's the 8th of May. Aidan's got the master list there. Ignore the typing. That's just something. He's replying to a comment. He's got the master list. But it's Nurses Day. So is it Nurses Day?
It is on the 6th of May. So it's
6th of May. The 6th
not far away at all.
Just out. And thank you to all the nurses out there that have done all the nursing. Very important jobs indeed. So it's Nurses Day. If I wanted to target nursing as a niche, this is what and you want to find that superstar design, you need to work with somebody. You need to work with a VA. You can do this part yourself, and if you do, that's fine. And you need to come up with something in the region of 2,500 to 3,000 nurse-related memes, nurse-related greeting cards, greeting card messages that you can add the word nurse to, any other meme related to a similar profession. So what's a similar profession? Radiographer, doctors, psychiatrists, chiropractors,
ambulance drivers, paramedics,
other jobs. So if you're broadening out from just away from nursing, you need to get more. So you need to get 2,500, maybe up to 5,000, and pick out the ones that, okay, you can put the word nurse in here, you can rework it a little bit, and then you want to get those ideas into a spreadsheet. Once you've got them into a spreadsheet, type them out. Doesn't take as long as you think. It's only 2,500 rows. It's really, most of these things are going to be 5 words long. You can just very quickly get it done. Then you want to find, and as I say, make sure, you don't want to just take people's mottos or official sayings and change where you can add in a word, rearrange a sentence, make it your own. You should always do that. It's about adding value. And then you want to, this is where you will need a designer unless you're going to be very busy. You want to find a designer that you can work with long term. It's super important to do that because over time, you'll be able to give them feedback on the design briefs, on the style of design that is selling for you in each niche, and you can try stuff together and say, oh, more like this one, less like that one. This one sold really well. Let's have a few more in this style. That font was great. This color combination was great. And over time, you'll be able to educate them, and they'll get better at designing for you and your buyers. So it's important to start that journey as early as possible if you're serious about this. If you're doing your designs yourself, okay, still you should try to work with a designer so you can scale like this. So let's say you've got 2,500, 3,000 ideas now. Each one of those you want to have designed. How many times, Aidan, would you say?
Well, one to begin with, and I'd say maybe 3 times.
3 times. You want at least 3 variations of each design.
Yeah.
3 or 4. 3 minimum variations of each design. So now
Would it be worth to have some with text and an image, and then try some with just text, maybe?
Yeah, you could. Yes, variation indeed. That would be one of the possible variations that you can try. So you don't want to. You want contrasting variations. So yeah, you could have an image on some. Not every idea would work with an image. Different fonts, different color styles, different layouts, variations. If they're simple text-based designs, it shouldn't take a designer as long as you think. So now you've got now you've got thousands of designs to test. So how do you test? Well, there are various ways of testing. If you've got a page, you can't be posting 2,500 designs on the page to try and find out which one was the winner. If you've got an email list, never use an email list for testing. That's not going to work. What you should do is open a Moteefe white label store. You should already have a Moteefe white label store, but you can open an extra Moteefe white label store just for the purposes of testing, and upload 8 different designs. So not variations, 3 variations of the same design to that store, maybe a few more, and start running traffic to the store's landing page just on a click. Just all you want is the click, just the link click in Facebook. Link click in Facebook. And then you want to see which ones of those designs are getting the most clicks after people click through. So you can run this for one day at $3 or $4 a day. Now you've tested 8 designs. The one that got the most clicks, you can start running ads to that and see if that goes. Swap the other ones out, the lowest 3 or 4 constantly. You can even do this through the day. It's just getting no clicks at all. Do try and mess around with the order a little bit, so that you're not just, if people are always clicking in the same places. You can even have different collections within a Moteefe store, really just extra tabs at the top. So you could have 5 or 6 different link click ad sets running at the same time, even at $1 a day, $2 a day. You're talking about $12 now to test a lot of designs. All of a sudden you've got 8, 16, 32. That's just off $6 because you've got the tabs. You could put them all in separate stores, and then you're taking the best ones, the ones that are getting the clicks. So people click through on the ad. We don't expect to get sales. If you get a sale, that's great. But what we want to see is the number of times that people were clicking through, and then which product, which design they click on. They're the ones that you want to then test with Facebook ads. That's how you can do it. You can take, if you've got a lot of these, so now maybe after a few days you've got maybe you won't have tested all 2,500. You just keep on testing in the background. You should have those testing ads running all of the time, swapping in and out of the store, designs in and out of these collection tabs within the store. And then if you've got, say now you've got 20, say you've got 20 designs that you want to test, what you can do now is, for each ad set, you can have more than one advert for each ad set. You can put different products in those with similar mock-ups.
Yeah.
And so you've got one campaign, 4 or 5 ad sets, and then multiple ads within each ad set that you can test. You can do this with campaign budget optimization, but basically you just want to test as much as you can, cheaply, to get those initial ones that you think are going to be successful, that you think would do well.
Just two quick questions, sort of to get into the detail there. How long would you run a test for before you decided to start changing and swapping things around? Would you just leave it 2 days, and if things had literally 0, then you chop them out? Or is there a rule of thumb here? Is there
if one's getting all the clicks, then that's the one. If it's a balance of clicks across everything, which it's unlikely to be, then that's another thing. You can also use this is the way that I would test initially. You can do some other stuff, but if you just want to concentrate on Facebook ads and how to test, then this is a really good way of doing it to begin with.
Yeah. Just on the when you run that test onto the store to get that traffic, is there any sort of daily spend or budget you'd put towards it? What daily budget would you set?
Well, you've got to see what you're getting a cost per link click for, but what you're trying to do here is you're trying to find a design. you should be running conversion ads as well on other stuff. You'll probably, after those 2,500 designs, you'll probably have 5 or 10 ones that you think are going to be the best anyway. Well, you can just try those in the normal way with conversion ads and see how they go. But you do want to be testing the other stuff as well, because you want to find that winner. You don't want to just sit on the rest of the designs. Excuse me, that would defeat the purpose of the whole exercise. You just got to see what works for you. There's no hard and fast rules. If you're selling in some countries, it's going to be a lot cheaper to test than in other countries. But you just want to get that volume built up. And everyone that clicks on and clicks through, they trigger a pixel. You can retarget those people later. So you're building up some kind of audience anyway with whatever you're doing. And yeah, people say, oh, you can test on here or there or marketplaces or whatever. No, because you want to test on a Facebook audience, on the targets that you're going to be targeting with the conversion ads. If I go to the local, I can't go anywhere at the moment, but if I was to get feedback on a design from a group of people that were using one thing, and then I try and sell to a group of people that are using something else, the original feedback, well, it might give me a bit of direction, but it's not going to be the same thing as putting it in front of the eventual buyers, or at least that group.
Right, that makes sense.
So the keys are volume. Volume's the key. You've got to work with other people. If you want to hit it out the park, if you want to make if you want to find that design that can go absolutely crazy, and then even then, you've got your winner, or you've got your good winning design, and you say, well, it's not going to sell $250,000. Well, the concept will, because now you can translate that into other languages.
Yeah. You could also translate to other niches now. So
other languages to begin with. Other languages to begin with is the key. Test other niches separately. You might be able to use the style or translate it or transfer it over to other niches, but definitely other languages. And if you've got a design that's selling that's done 200 that's done 50,000 in sales, which is not out of the that's we see that on the regular, as they say, on the regular. How many countries, Aidan? How many other countries do you have to take that design in?
As many as it will sell in
to get to 250.
I do know this. 5.
Well, at least 5, yeah. So, which 5 countries? So I've got an English language design targeting nurses. I've tested. This one's winning. I'm getting good sales. It's looking like it's going to do really well. It's got some sales. It looks like it's going to hit that 50K barrier. Which other 4 countries are you going to try next?
The first one that comes to my mind, Germany, because you can double back, like we mentioned in the last live stream. With Germany, you can target Germany and Austria. So that's the next one. And then after that, France.
Interesting.
And then I always remember that you had some great success in Northern Italy. So Italy would be the next one. And also I would never forget Denmark, Sweden and Finland, because they're very untapped. But
the Netherlands, of course, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, Norway. Be careful in Norway. You can't advertise alcohol, anything, and you can't reference alcohol there. If you are running anything to do with alcohol ever on any platform, there are some very specific rules that you must follow. So always check the provider's terms and of service. So yes, you've got all of those countries. I would also try Poland. Poland is a very interesting market that people aren't really getting going for at the moment, but I think it's very, very, very interesting. So yes, you've got that, and now you can scale it out. You can take that concept and you can run it out across all of those countries.
Yeah. Marcus in the comments is mentioned Spain, and also there's a lot of Spanish speakers out there. So
you can try Spanish in the United States. 40 million people in the United States actually speak Spanish. Spain in Europe, not quite as a great market for POD as some other European countries, but if you've got something that's working, it's always worth trying in Spain. You will get some sales there. Maybe just try targeting the cities, but yes, it is a market.
And just to put it out there, and it's sort of to set a gauntlet out there, guys. I rarely get people ask me for Polish translations. So if you do have something that you want to give it a try in Poland, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to get those translated for you and to see how it goes. Right? It's definitely one of the countries I get the least amount of translations, but it could be one of the best ones to get. So yeah, pop me a message for those.
Excellent. And so there we are. That's what to do. That's how to do it. Get out there. If you are going to embark on this journey, let Aidan know, and he'll offer all the support that he can. We'll be very keen to see how successful you can be. And, you know, don't be lazy. So many people out there that I know could be crushing it, that are kind of moving along, doing okay, not testing that many designs, ups and downs, looking for reasons why it's not working. Well, 98% of the time, it's the design. You just, if you had had 6 variations of that design or slightly different wording, then you probably would have found a winner within it. One of the biggest money losers is designs that kind of do okay, where you haven't tested the variations, because it's not just I'm not saying they might make some money, and you should run those and keep running those and scale those as much as you can, but you should always be looking for the variations of that design that are going to make more money than that. So when you do find something that's working, get 3 or 4 other variations of that designed. Reach out to Aidan, and he'll get it done for you. We'll get it designed for you. That's something that we do for people that are selling well on Moteefe. So if you have got a design that's selling well, and we do set the bar pretty high for but not too high. And it also has to be something that we can help you with. But if you reach out to Aidan, he will get design variations done for you, as well as translations. We're here to help. Your success is our success. So, yes, Aidan.
Yeah, 100%. If you guys have got something that's, you know, shown some initial success, it doesn't have to break the world. Literally, if it shows that initial success, message me on Facebook, and I'll be happy to get everything sorted out for you. Get the translations, even get it redesigned if it really does show some promise. In the link in this and in the description, in the YouTube description, there is a link to our Facebook group where I can be found. You can find me. You can pop me a message.
Yeah, you should be trying 2 or 3 variations of your winning designs always. That's another thing people aren't doing.
Thomas, if just to ask a weird one, but well, not a weird one. If you were to set yourself a goal on how many tests you should launch per week, what would you go for?
What do you mean?
So would you be trying to set yourself a goal of
find 2,500 designs?
Yeah, but per week, because maybe some people
get
have the budget to test 2,500.
Well, you didn't ask about other people. You asked about me. The whole point of this is to find 2,500 ideas and then get them designed by a designer. You can find these people cheap out there. You know, this is how you reinvest in yourself and success. You can do this bit by bit and drip through it. If you're paying a designer on a monthly retainer, then you can find designers to work with you to do simple text-based designs to get this done for $300, $400, $500 a month, maybe $600 a month for a really good designer. That's full time. You know, that's the way to do this. If you're just testing, well, just test as much as you can. But if you really want to go for it and scale up and try and make this year absolutely massive and hit it out of the park, you know, you hit 4 of these designs a year. That's an awful lot. It is work, but along the way you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot about the market. You're going to learn a lot about what works, and you're going to test a lot of designs. You're going to run a lot of ads. You're going to get a lot of retargeting done, and you're in the end, you will find a design if you keep going. And test cheaply and always try to be scaling your winning designs whilst you're testing, then in the end you will find that design that propels you into a completely new level of selling. You know, people are selling thousands of units a day, individual sellers on Moteefe right now. and you can be one of them. This is the way to do it. So you want to get on and do it. We want to make this weekend the weekend that you commit to something like this. If 2,500 is too many for you, well, double down and get 5,000. No, if you get as many as you can. It's a numbers game. That's a good line in the sand of how many you should be getting. 500 ideas. I think actually is probably the way to do it. 500 ideas, not 2,500. You turn that into 2,500 designs. But it's live, so anyone that watched up to here, it's 500, not 2,500. If you are going to go down the 2,500 line, then good luck to you. We can't hit rewind.
The underlying thing here is persistence, right? It's persistence and volume. That's what we're saying. Because you can't just test 10 and give up. You need to test 100. 500. 500.
Not 2,500 ideas, 2,500 to 3,000 designs from 500 ideas. There you are. That's it. And we will be back we'll be back in 2,500 years with our next live stream. Aidan, what's the title of the next live? We don't know. We're going to go. We're going to let the market decide. But it will be an exciting title next week. 500 ideas, 2,000 to 3,000 designs off that ready to test that you can get done. If anybody does get 2,500 ideas for the nursing niche and 10,000 designs designed, then we definitely want to see that, because that would be a phenomenal.
There's a trick here though, because if you had 500 designs and then you translated all those 500 designs, times that by 5, you would have 2,500. So one way of looking at it.
I don't know if you would.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Aidan. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, guys. And quickly, Abderrahim, I will be messaging you shortly with how to do your Facebook verification. Any questions, guys? I'm in the group. Message me directly. More than happy to help. Have a lovely weekend, and look forward to chatting with you over the weekend, and see you all next Thursday. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.